Folks, this is how you make a sequel. Like, this was super impressive. So nonetheless, let's start the review of the sequel of A Quiet Place in the new film releasing on May 28th, A Quiet Place 2. So let's start that review right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another movie review. Before we go any further, I just gotta say that I'm just overwhelmed with so much love and so much support. I have finally reached 10,000 followers, and it could not have happened without you all. So I supremely appreciate everyone subscribing, the comments, the likes, all that good stuff, the interactions. I truly appreciate it. It means the most. We finally hit 10,000 subscribers, folks. But with that means that we still got work to do, and that's why we're going to review this new film that I went to check out today, back in theaters at that, and that's A Quiet Place 2, which is going to be available in theaters May 28th. And this was an impressive film. The first one was already so good, and the question was, for me, could this one do better? And I, without a doubt, think that this film did with everything that the first film did, but better. And also a little bit of a change in things. Like, first of all, I want to say that I did experience this in the full Dolby experience. So the vision and the sound, it was amazing. And for a film that kind of, you know, it kind of like relied on it being quiet on the first film, for this one to be so much of a difference. It was loud. It was jumpy. I mean, it was I jumped so many times just because of just the jump tactics that was in this film because of the sound. It was a complete 360 from what the first one was. Because, yeah, like I said, the first film really relied on it being such a quiet film, and this one was extremely loud. And I enjoyed it. But nonetheless, this picks up right where the first one left off at. However, the beginning sequence didn't. The beginning sequence goes right to day one where everything went upside down. So we got to see how these little creatures actually got on Earth and how that moment when they discovered that something was going on, how it all went down. It was really dope. I thought the visuals, again, the sound, and just the drama that they really put in that opening sequence really set the tone for the film. But after the opening sequence, then you picked up at day 474, immediately after how the conclusion of the first film left off at. And now that we know that the family has to find a new place, they have to venture out from their community and find, you know, a new place to stay. This sounds very eerily similar to The Walking Dead. That's essentially, I mean, like, this film does have a lot of parallels to The Walking Dead, if you ask me, but I won't go down that route with this. But I have to start off by saying, as much as I enjoyed all of the performances in this film, Millicent, she's just so fantastic. I really loved her in the first one. I loved her so much more in this one. I love that character. I love how the continued arc and how they're continuing with a lot of the emotions and a lot of the ideology beyond her character in the first one, picking it up on this one. I thought they did a fantastic job with that. And that's not even always a given, by the way. Like, sometimes one character is one way, and then you think because of the sequel, they come back and they're just a whole new person. But they picked up exactly where they left off at. Now, while this film was very good to me, it did come with flaws. Like, it did. There was things I did not like that I want to bring up. And I don't know if this is nitpicking or not, but I did not like how there was so much coincidence. And, like, while there was, like, kind of parallel things kind of happening, it was so much of a coincidence that something's happening in one place and it's happening exactly the same thing in another place. And they just kept doing that. Like, there was a fire in one place, then there was a fire in another place. And I was just like, at the point, it's just like, this again? And, like, yeah, I definitely had a problem with that. And I also thought, like, the logic and the psychology behind a lot of the characters in the beginning part of this film was so strong. And then there was a lot of questionable things towards the end of this film. And, like, you know, it's hard to overlook it when you're, like, seeing some of that stuff kind of happen. You're just like, Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But, beyond that, I still overly enjoyed this film. I liked how it continued the story, but also revisited how it begun. I liked how everything that this one did perfect in the first one, it took that and doubled down. This film was so intense. I was at the edge of my seat. I was absolutely jumping every second I had a chance to. And overall, it was just really, really, really good. Again, it was loud and the sound was so good. And maybe it was the theater. Or maybe it is just how the film was. But nonetheless, if you are going to go see this, I definitely say go get the Dolby experience. It was so worth it. So it was absolutely worth being back in the theaters for this film. I enjoyed this film a very, very lot. I mean, look, the first one got a high rating. I don't see how this one goes any lower than the first one, for real. I really thought it was a really good job. There was also a few cameos of some people that wasn't initially announced in this film, so you will see some familiar faces in this film. Also, John Krasinski is in it as well, so, because again, they revisited back to day one where, this kind of all went down, so of course you had to see where his character was at and how the family all kind of like was making do with what was happening. Like it was literally very eerie to what kind of happened with, very eerie, similar to what happened in Cloverfield. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this was all in the same universe at some point or nonetheless. But yeah, folks, I can't stress enough. If you love the first one, you're not going to want to miss this one. And there is a huge possibility. I mean, come on now. They're doing a part 3. This film ended so abruptly, just like the first one. They're clearly doing a part 3. So yes, you don't want to miss this one, folks. Again, this is A Quiet Place 2, May 28th in theaters. Folks, jump in the comments, let me know. Again, thank you all for so much of your support, encouragement, and love to this point of getting 10K followers. We got a lot more work to do, and I'm here to do it. And I love doing this, and this is so much fun. So I definitely appreciate you all and your support and everything that y'all bring to me to help me to keep wanting to do this. So let's keep going, folks. And again, this is A Quiet Place 2. Drop in the comments, let me know your thoughts about this film. And I'll see you around for more reviews very soon.
Thank you.